To have high-performing salespeople who produce great sales results, you need the right leadership and management. I'll explain more about that in this video. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimist Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and employee performance in the workplace. In my last two videos, I spoke about what you need to do to ensure you have high-performing salespeople. And that's, of course, first, you got to make sure you have the right person for the job, and that's always crucial. And that's part of leadership, actually, and management. You have to work, if you have an HR department, you have to work with them to make sure that you're selecting the right person who fits the job. I have many videos of that explaining how to incorporate our assessment tool, the PXT Select, in that process of decision making. Check the links in the video, the description, and you could check that out as well. So in the previous two videos, the first one I spoke about the step of evaluating salespeople. I even provided a free download of an assessment form that evaluates the skills of the salespeople, and you do that mutually and agree on where they need to improve. And in the second video, I talked about that same subject, but going more into depth about coaching and developing the salesperson based on the evaluation. Now in this video, I'm talking about leadership and management because that's always crucial for high performance, whether it applies to salespeople or generally employees in any position. The role of the leader, of course, is to set the direction for the company or the department, depending on your size and how it's structured. That's the leader's role. They need to view the landscape and decide on where the company is going based on its strengths, on the opportunities, the trends. That's the classic strategic planning, which is ongoing today, especially with all the disruption and the changes, the rapid changes in the marketplace. The leader needs to always be mindful of what's going on, both in the long term and the short, mid-term, and change directions if necessary. Also to create the tactics or strategies to reach that mission or whatever you call it, the objectives of the company. But it's the manager's role to make sure that people are working together towards accomplishing that strategy. And that's where the manager is crucial in terms of working with each salesperson in this case to make sure that they're on track, they're on target, they know what is expected of them, and that they can achieve it as well. And that goes back to making sure you have the right people in your team. Now, salespeople tend to work more independently from each other. Today, that's probably changing a lot. I just spoke with a company, a president who has a small company and about 10 people in their sales department, but they don't go on the road anymore. They used to go out. They sell beauty products to spas and places like that, skincare products. And they used to go out and meet the spa owners, but they don't do that anymore because of living in a large urban city. The traffic is terrible. It takes so long to get anywhere that it's not efficient, and they've now doing everything remotely online. So they structure their sales department to work as a team, and they get compensated as a team. But imagine in this case, if you have one person that's not pulling their weight, how it affects the attitude of the others. And that's why what I'm saying today is so crucial, starting with making sure you have the right person for each sales role, because it may vary. You may have some people doing more dealing with incoming requests and others dealing more with prospecting. So you really have to today customize your approach, who you hire for which role. And that's where using a tool is really important to evaluate people and their potential in that position, but also to customize and adapt your training and coaching for each person. And that's really the first point, is to understand each person. That's why I provided that evaluation for their skills assessment, but even go deeper into understanding their personality traits, how that affects their ability to apply a skill, to do certain things that's required of them to be successful in that job. And that's why, again, I say, make sure you have the right person. But it's up to the manager to provide ongoing training and coaching so that the salesperson understands and is able to execute on the tactics or the activities that are going to lead to generating the expected results or desired results. So that's really where the manager comes in, and it's an ongoing thing. Today training should be ongoing, whether it's lunch and learns or more in-depth training, or even just discussion groups with the sales department or even other departments to really get the salesperson to, think that expression outside of the box, because we tend to box ourselves in and work routinely. So sometimes we need to just step back and look at the forest and see what's going on and what we can learn from other people as well in terms of what they're doing, and can that person who's maybe weak in prospecting learn from that other person and use some of the intelligence that they gain through discussion to be better at certain skills that maybe they're weaker in. So not everybody can be great at everything, and that's why understanding each person and where you can help them improve based on knowing them and knowing where they're weak at and working out a strategy. And that's really the thing as a manager, as a leader. You want to make sure that there's a clear discussion or an agreement on where the focus needs to be, and to help them execute on that. The other part is the manager himself and the leader, of course, that you need to also continuously improve your ability to manage and lead. If you want the business to grow, which most business owners and leaders do, you need to keep growing. You need to keep getting better at what you're doing. And that goes for the leader and the manager themselves. Now, in a small company, the leader and the manager may be the same person. And as company grows, you have a leader, and then you may have a sales manager or VP of sales, a director, whatever structure you have. Everybody needs to work on their leadership and management skills to keep improving. And what does that mean? That means understanding yourself, same as what applies to the employee and salesperson, understanding yourself, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, what's related to your personality or your behavioral traits, what's related to just skills that you need to sharpen. It's like a chef. They're always sharpening their knife or just maintaining it so that as they're working, they don't get faced with a dull knife, which impedes them to create the beautiful plates or whatever it is that they're doing. They need the tool and they need it to be sharp. So as a leader, as a manager, your tools, your assets are your talents and abilities. And those you need to keep sharpening through ongoing training and development as well. You know, we tend to think that after we graduate university or whatever education we have, the formal learning stops there, and now we go into experiential learning where every day, as we're making decisions and faced with new challenges, we are learning. That's true, of course. But if you combine that with ongoing formal learning, whatever method that is, whether it's on online courses, mini courses, again, group discussions within the company, just to keep you sharp and to keep honing your skills, your talents and abilities, just like a chef does with his knives. Though that is what is recommended from my perspective, from experts as well. And that's what's going to keep you capable of facing the growth challenges that come with the development of the business. Again, I've used this example many times. It's like mountain climbing. The higher you go, the steeper the terrain gets, the more skilled you need to be, the better tools you need to have, and the better understanding of how to use those tools. So think of yourself, your talents and abilities like those tools that you need to rely upon, and your ability to use those tools, your knowledge of them, combined with your experience will really lead you to be the most effective you can be at managing and leading. So just to summarize, you have to know where you're going in terms of the business strategy and how to get there. And you need to rally your team, both as a team and individually, to be able to execute on your plans. And part of that is understanding them, and to also understanding yourself and sharpening your own skills in leadership and management. So I hope this message resonates with you and that you'll act on it. Again, you could download that free evaluation for salespeople, but I also have many others that you can download. I have one for management and leadership. I have a Are You a Leader or Manager free test you can take. So there's links in the description of this video to all those resources. If you haven't already subscribed, do so now. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk again soon.